good morning, dear children. We'll continue with this chapter, the summit within. As we have already, read that this is about a summit which we have inside us, inside our mind, as well as the writer is talking about the summit of Everest. Let's begin with the second paragraph. I have a more personal answer to the question, like why people, go to climb mountains. He's talking about this. From my childhood, I have been attracted by mountains. He's saying that, because I as a child was always attracted by mountains. I had been miserable, lost when away from mountains. I was not myself. Mountains are nature at its best. Their beauty and majesty pose a great challenge. And like many, I believe that mountains are a means of communication or communion with God. They are a means of communion with God, like kind of relation with God. Once having granted this, the question remains, why Everest? Now the question which comes to, Now the question which arises, why people choose to go to Mount Everest? Because it is the highest. Now the people answer that this is the highest, the mightiest, means powerful, and has defied many previous attempts. Defied attempts means many people have failed to climb it. It takes the last ounce of one's energy. Every inch of your energy will be consumed in climbing, It is a brutal struggle with rock and ice. It is very tough actually. Once taken up, it cannot be given up halfway. Like once you've started, you cannot give in the halfway, because when one's life is at stake, even when one's life is at stake in danger, the passage back is as difficult as the passage onwards. The problem is that even if you want to take a step back, you cannot do that, because even coming back is equally difficult. And then when the summit is climbed, there is the exhilaration, and once you finish climbing, there is this excitement, the joy of having done something, that sense of a battle fought and won. There is a feeling of victory and of happiness, all these feelings like you are full of when you climb the mountain. Now, glimpsing a peak in the distance, I get transported to another world. He's saying that when I see a peak, when I look at a peak in the distance, I kind of reach to another world. I experience a change within myself, like something changes within me, inside me, which can only be called mystical. And this change, is mystical. Mystical is spiritual. By its beauty, by its aloofness, might, ruggedness, and the difficulties encountered on the way, the peak draws me to it. And, all these things on the peak attract me, as Everest did. It is a challenge that is difficult to resist. Like climbing Mount Everest is a big challenge. Looking back, I find that I have not yet fully explained why I climbed Everest. Actually, he thought that maybe I have not explained it. It is like answering a question, why you breathe. Why you climb Everest is why you breathe. Why do you help your neighbor? Why do you want to do X? And there is no final answer possible. So we'll continue with it, children, tomorrow. I'm not little unwell.